No noise from real electricity. It has no need for attention. Rather, it functions as a concentrated shadow, constant, serene, and unflinching. The sigma attracts the attention effortlessly in contrast to the alpha who demands it. He is just unforgettable. He doesn't make an effort to stand out. The majority of sigma men leave a trail without noticing. They are preoccupied, focused on the objective, not the mirror, not because they are proud. They don't dress to impress, they dress to serve. It matters when they speak, and they do so when called upon. They walk alone, and the throng follows, not the other way around. You may have been called mysterious, distant, or even intimidating, but that's not a weakness, it's your edge. Your silence speaks volumes. You don't chase clout, you don't explain yourself. And in a world obsessed with validation, your self-assurance is magnetic. Psychologically, people are drawn to mystery. The brain is hardwired to seek closure, so when someone doesn't reveal everything, others become fascinated. That's you, calm in chaos. Listening when others shout, sure of yourself without needing a fan club. Attraction isn't always about charm or charisma. Sometimes it's about restraint, confidence, purpose. So if people seem nervous around you, if they can't stop looking your way, if they remember you even after just one conversation, it's not by accident. You're not invisible, you're undeniable, you're a sigma male, and that changes everything. Now let's dive deeper into what makes you truly one of a kind. Number one, he's unbothered by validation, and that's magnetic. Sigmas are a fascinating breed of men, quiet, independent, and unapologetically themselves. Unlike alphas who dominate with charisma or betas who seek validation, sigma males operate outside the traditional social hierarchy. They're not on the hunt for likes, status, or clout. Their approval comes from within. They don't curate their lives to fit someone else's expectations. No filters, no performance. A sigma can go an entire day without posting a thing online and still make an impact wherever he goes. Why? Because authenticity is magnetic. In a world addicted to attention, indifference is powerful. It's the paradox of presence. When you're not trying to be seen, people can't help but notice you. Psychologically, this ties into something called the research, shows that people are more attractive when they appear competent, but aren't trying to be perfect. Sigmas embody this effortlessly. They're good at what they do, but they don't boast about it. They walk into a room not to impress, but to observe, and in doing so, they often become the focus. Think of the sigma as the modern-day lone wolf. He dresses for comfort, not attention. He's likely wearing a plain t-shirt and worn boots, rather than designer sneakers, but it's the calm, calculated confidence in his demeanor that grabs attention. He may not say much, but his silence speaks volumes. It's not awkward, it's intentional. And here's where it gets interesting. When people notice someone who doesn't seem to care whether they're noticed or not, curiosity takes over. Who is that guy, they wonder, and without a word, the sigma has captivated the room. So if you're a sigma and you've ever felt eyes on you for no reason, now you know. It's because you're not trying. That's your superpower. In a world obsessed with applause, the sigma walks away from the stage and ends up owning it anyway. Not by force, not by performance, but simply by being real. Number two, he keeps his circle tight, and that sparks intrigue. Most people today seem to treat their lives like a 24/7 reality show. They share every meal, every mood, every mundane detail on social media as if the world is entitled to a live stream of their thoughts. But sigma males, they're cut from a different cloth. They move in silence, and that silence speaks volumes. A sigma male doesn't need validation from likes, shares, or comments. He understands that privacy is power. Rather than showcasing every achievement or setback, he chooses what to reveal and when. This intentional restraint isn't about being secretive, it's about being strategic. Psychologists have found that people who are more reserved tend to project an air of control and mystery, which often makes them more intriguing to others. Here's the thing. When a man isn't constantly announcing his goals, his relationships, or his whereabouts, he becomes a puzzle. And humans are wired to solve puzzles. The brain actually releases dopamine, the curiosity chemical, when we encounter something mysterious or unpredictable. So when a sigma male walks into a room and doesn't overshare, it triggers intrigue. People wonder, who is he? What's his story? That curiosity becomes the seed of attraction. Moreover, sigmas are selective with their energy. They don't just give access to anyone. This exclusivity signals value. In economics, scarcity increases worth. The less you see or hear from someone, the more you want to know about them. It's the same principle that luxury brands use. Limited access creates high demand. A Sigma male unknowingly uses this same psychology in social dynamics, and let's not forget the element of self-respect. By keeping his life private, the Sigma male avoids unnecessary drama, protects his peace, and stays focused on what truly matters. He doesn't post to impress. He lives to express, on his own terms. In a world obsessed with oversharing, the Sigma's silence isn't empty, it's magnetic. His mystery doesn't come from pretending to be deep, it comes from living with depth. Number 3, he radiates quiet confidence, not loud ego. There's something magnetic about a man who doesn't need to shout to be noticed. Enter the Sigma male, the embodiment of quiet confidence. Unlike alpha males who thrive on dominance and attention, Sigma males operate from a different frequency. Their power lies in subtlety, in control, in a presence that doesn't demand attention but commands it nonetheless. Psychologically speaking, quiet confidence stems from high self-efficacy, a belief in one's own ability to handle life without validation. According to psychologist Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory, people with high self-efficacy exhibit calmness under pressure, make deliberate decisions, and trust their inner compass. That's Sigma energy. You can see it in how they move. Their body language is composed, purposeful. No frantic gestures or nervous tics. Whether they're walking into a room or simply sitting alone in a cafe, there's an ease about them that says, I don't need to prove anything to you. That calm assurance disrupts the chaos around them, and then there's their mastery of silence. While others may rush to fill awkward gaps in conversation, Sigma males are perfectly comfortable with stillness. In fact, they silence strategically. Studies in communication psychology suggest that people who embrace silence are perceived as more confident, emotionally stable, and intelligent. When Sigma males speak, it's not to be heard, it's to be understood. Their words carry weight because they're measured, intentional, and often reveal deep insight. This kind of composure in social settings doesn't just make an impression, it creates curiosity. People want to know more about them. Women especially are drawn to this quiet power. It's mysterious. It feels safe and intriguing all at once. That unspoken confidence makes others feel like they're in the presence of someone who's figured things out. So, no, Sigma males don't need the spotlight. They're the spotlight, and it's not because they're loud, it's because that's the kind of confidence that can't be faked. It's the kind that's felt in the silence, in the glance, in the simple way they carry themselves. Confidence is sexy. But quiet confidence? That changes the whole room. Number 4, he dresses for himself, not the crowd. Sigmas don't follow fashion trends, they create their own. You won't find them obsessing over the latest designer drops or flipping through fashion magazines for validation. A Sigma male might be rocking a plain black t-shirt, rugged boots, and a worn-out jacket, and somehow still look like he walked straight out of a style magazine. But here's the question, why? Because true style isn't about you wear, it's about you wear it. Confidence is the cornerstone of a Sigma male's appearance. Studies in social psychology have consistently shown that people respond more positively to those who exhibit strong, grounded body language. That's what sets a Sigma apart. His stride has purpose, his posture is relaxed but assured. He doesn't fidget, he doesn't seek the camera, and he never overdresses to impress. And yet, somehow everyone notices him when he walks into a room. This is where the science of perception comes in. Research shows that authenticity is magnetic. When someone isn't trying to impress or conform, their energy becomes unique, and others pick up on it. That's the Sigma edge. They're not dressing for approval, they're dressing for comfort, utility, and personal expression. This isn't rebellion, it's freedom. Fashion trends are often dictated by what the masses follow. But Sigmas, they observe, they decode, and then they do the opposite. They know that when you chase trends, you become a copy of someone else's idea. But when you dress with intention and individuality, you send a message that says, I know who I am. And that message is far more attractive than any name brand logo. Sigmas make worn denim and scuffed boots look iconic, not because the clothes are expensive, but because they wear them like armor. They're not trying to fit into society's ever-changing standards. In fact, they're usually ahead of them. People eventually catch up to what Sigmas were already doing years ago. So here's the truth. You don't need flashy brands or extravagant outfits to look powerful. What you need is confidence, authenticity, and the courage to dress for yourself. Because real style doesn't follow the rules, it rewrites them. And that's what Sigma males do best. Number 5, he's passionate about something bigger than himself. A Sigma male doesn't waste time. He's not scrolling endlessly or getting caught up in meaningless gossip. He's building, creating, learning, exploring, whether it's mastering a new skill, launching a business, or planning his next solo travel adventure. A Sigma operates with one clear focus, progress, and while others chase validation, he chases growth. This relentless pursuit of purpose isn't just admirable, it's magnetic. Studies in psychology have shown that individuals with a strong sense of direction and self-discipline are perceived as more attractive. Why? Because passion gives life color. It gives structure to chaos and transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary mission. Think about it. People are naturally drawn to energy. When you meet someone deeply immersed in a goal, whether it's writing a novel, building a tech startup, or becoming a martial arts expert, you can there drive even if they don't say a word about it. That's the Sigma effect. He doesn't have to shout his achievements. His presence whispers purpose. This quiet determination also taps into a deep psychological principle called. It states that people are most fulfilled when they feel autonomous, competent, and connected to a meaningful goal. Sigma males embody this. They don't follow trends, they create paths. They're not distracted by the noise because they're tuned into their own frequency. So if you're out there grinding in silence, sipping your coffee alone while mapping out your future, understand this. You're not being overlooked. You're becoming. You're showing the world what it looks like to live with intentionality. And that, without trying, becomes one of your most attractive traits. Even when the results haven't fully materialized yet, your consistency speaks louder than any flashy lifestyle. The world may not applaud you yet, but they notice. Energy doesn't lie. People sense when someone is on a mission, so keep building, keep learning, keep exploring. Because in a world full of distractions, the man with purpose stands out, without even trying. Number 6. He's emotionally independent, but emotionally intelligent. Let's get real. In a world where drama is glorified and emotional outbursts go viral, staying calm and collected isn't just rare, it's practically heroic. Sigma males, often misunderstood as loners or emotionally detached, actually possess one of the most powerful traits a man can have. Emotional intelligence paired with emotional independence. Let's break it down. Sigma males don't need constant reassurance or emotional validation from others. They've done the inner work. This doesn't mean they're ice cold or shut off from the world. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Studies in psychology have shown that emotionally intelligent individuals are more empathetic, better communicators, and more resilient under stress. Sigma males fall right into that category. They're not just aware of their own emotions, they're tuned into others as well. The key difference, they don't let those emotions rule them. While others spiral into heated arguments or toxic cycles, Sigma males choose composure. When something goes wrong, they don't explode, they reflect. When faced with emotional manipulation, they don't play the game, they step out of the ring. This isn't detachment, it's discipline. In relationships, this makes them incredibly attractive. Why? Because emotional control brings a deep sense of safety. It means no petty fights over imagined slights, no wild mood swings, no codependence, just peace. A Sigma male doesn't lose himself to gain someone else. He sets boundaries, he respects others' space and expects the same in return. In today's emotionally chaotic society, this level of groundedness is like a breath of fresh air. It signals strength, not in the loud, aggressive way, but in the quiet confidence of someone who knows who he is. It's no surprise that emotional stability ranks among the top traits women find attractive, according to research published in. So, when a Sigma male walks into a room, calm and self-assured, people notice. Not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because in a world full of emotional noise, he's mastered the art of internal peace. And that's a rare superpower. Number 7, he doesn't chase, he attracts. Sigmas don't chase validation. And ironically, that's exactly why they get pursued. Unlike most men who are constantly trying to impress, signal status, or gain approval, the Sigma male moves to the rhythm of his own inner compass. He's not sliding into DMs with corny lines, trying to outshine other guys in the room, or desperately seeking someone's attention. He shows up fully present, fully himself, and that kind of quiet confidence creates a gravitational pull that's hard to resist. It's basic human psychology. We're wired to value what's scarce, and in a world overflowing with people shouting, "Look at me," the one who remains silent and secure in himself stands out. Sigmas are rare. They're not trying to be liked, they're just being authentic. And that authenticity, it's magnetic. This isn't just some trendy internet persona. Studies in behavioral psychology confirm that people who appear self-assured and non-needy are perceived as more attractive. Why? Because they radiate independence and self-worth. Two traits that signal emotional security and strength. It's the exact opposite of the pick-me energy that turns people off. Women pick up on this fast. When a man doesn't need them for validation, it flips the script. He's not giving off desperation, he's not playing games, he's not operating from lack. Instead, he's grounded, mysterious and centered, and that's alluring. The Sigma doesn't chase, and that's what makes him a prize. Other men admire it too, sometimes with envy. They wonder how he draws attention without trying, how he commands a room without saying much. But the truth is, it's not about saying the right thing, it's about the right thing. That quiet confidence, that inner calm, it speaks louder than words ever could. Sigmas don't walk into a room needing approval. They walk in already owning who they are. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them powerful. And that's why they get pursued. You see, real attraction isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about presence. It's about being so grounded in yourself that people feel better just being around you. That kind of presence can't be faked. It's built through self-mastery, purpose, and independence. So if you're wondering why Sigmas draw attention like a magnet, it's simple. When you're the guy who doesn't need attention, you become the one who gets it. And that, my friend, is the Sigma advantage. Number 8, he's focused on growth, not approval. While others are stuck in endless loops of comparison and seeking validation, the Sigma male is on a completely different trajectory. He's evolving. Instead of chasing clout or approval, the Sigma turns inward. He reads books not just for entertainment, but to expand his mind. He reflects deeply on life, his choices, and his values. He levels up, mentally, emotionally, and even physically, not for attention, but for growth. He doesn't waste energy asking, "Will this make people like me?" His focus is sharper. "Will this make me better?" That question becomes his compass. This mindset is rare and powerful. Psychologists call it intrinsic motivation, the internal drive to grow without relying on outside approval. Studies show people who are intrinsically motivated are more creative, more disciplined, and more fulfilled long-term. Sigma males embody this deeply. They're not driven by trends or peer pressure. They're guided by vision and purpose. This self-mastery is attractive on a primal level. Evolutionary psychology tells us that confidence, independence, and self-sufficiency signal high value in a social group. These traits communicate leadership potential, emotional stability, and long-term resilience. That's why people are drawn to the Sigma male, even if they don't know why. So if you've ever noticed people getting quiet around you, acting defensive, or even becoming strangely curious, it's not a coincidence. They sense something different, something deeper, something powerful. It's the presence of a man who's not trying to impress anyone because he's already impressed himself. Sigma males don't seek the spotlight, but the spotlight often ends up finding them. Sigmas, you are far more attractive than you give yourself credit for, not because you're trying to be, but because you're not. Your silence, your strength, your solitude, it all adds to your mystique. Keep walking your own path. Keep building your life on your terms. The right ones will notice, not because you shouted, but because you showed. So if this video sparked something inside you, hit that like button, subscribe, and join this powerful Sigma community. Apply these truths to your own journey and live the kind of life that attracts everything you need without begging for it. Stay true and stay Sigma. Sigma, you've been underestimated for far too long. Why does your silence make the loudest noise in every room? Because intelligence in the hands of a Sigma male isn't just rare, it's dangerous. Today we're diving deep into why the intelligence of Sigma males is not just impressive, it's downright terrifying. And why society, relationships, and even other men often don't know how to handle it. Sigmas, welcome back to the place where being misunderstood is your superpower. The world sees your quietness as a void, but it's actually packed with analysis, foresight, and psychological precision. You're not quiet because you lack words. You're quiet because you're calculating which ones are worth speaking. While others speak to be heard, you observe to understand. That's not just smart, it's tactical. Research in behavioral psychology has shown that highly intelligent individuals often display signs of introversion, independent thinking, and deep focus. 3 traits Sigma males embody naturally. You don't follow the herd. You question it, dissect it, and if necessary, walk alone without flinching. What terrifies people isn't just your intellect. It's the fact that you combine it with unpredictability. You don't chase approval. You don't seek validation. And because you're self-sufficient, people can't control you. That's what truly shakes them. You don't reveal your strategy, but you always have one. Your intelligence is a silent weapon, calm on the surface, but lethal in execution. In this video, we'll explore how your mental sharpness influences every area of life, from decision-making to relationships to how you handle adversity. We're going to uncover why your presence changes the dynamic of every room you enter, because nothing about you is random. Let's go deep. Point 1, Sigma males. Think in systems, not in stereotypes. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, scroll through their phones, go to jobs they tolerate, interact on a superficial level, and react emotionally to anything that disrupts their routine. But Sigma males, they operate on a completely different frequency. Instead of coasting through life, they reverse engineer reality. A Sigma male is not interested in blindly following the crowd. He doesn't just in society, it. Where others react impulsively, he observes, reflects, and calculates. Social dynamics. He doesn't just participate in them, he studies them like a chessboard. Every conversation, every power play, every silent glance is data to a Sigma. While others worry about popularity, a Sigma decodes the rules of the game and quietly works on rewriting them. In business, Sigmas tend to see opportunities others miss. They look beyond the product and ask, what's the business model? Who controls the supply chain? Where is the leverage? Many great entrepreneurs and innovators, like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, exhibited Sigma-like traits. They didn't play by the traditional rules. They studied systems, broke them apart, and rebuilt them on their own terms. Socially, Sigma males are the wild cards. They're not obsessed with fitting into any group or social hierarchy. While others are busy networking to climb the ladder, a Sigma is observing who built the ladder in the first place and deciding whether it's even worth climbing. That's what makes them unpredictable. And in a world driven by predictability and routine, unpredictability is power. People fear what they can't anticipate, and it goes deeper. Sigma males don't gossip because surface-level noise is irrelevant to someone tuned into long-term patterns. They're the type who remember your tone, not just your words. They notice what's said in a conversation. They aren't trying to be liked, they're trying to understand. While the world is on autopilot, the Sigma male is designing the flight path. That's not just rebellion. It's strategic detachment. And in today's complex world, thinking like a Sigma isn't just different, it's an advantage. Point 2, they observe everything, speak when it matters. Sigmas are hyper-observant by nature. They don't just glance around a room, they scan, assess, decode. While most people are busy reacting, Sigmas are studying. They watch body language, tone shifts, facial expressions, micro-movements, all the subtle cues others miss. But here's the thing, this observation isn't rooted in judgment. It's about understanding motives, identifying weaknesses, and spotting potential threats or opportunities. It's intellectual warfare, quiet, tactical, and always intentional. This is why Sigma males often dominate without trying. They operate in a world of strategic restraint. When they speak, people go silent, not because they're flashy or aggressive, but because their words carry weight. In a society drowning in noise, constant opinions, endless chatter, and emotional outbursts, Sigma intelligence feels like a scalpel. Clean, precise, disarming. Neuroscience supports this kind of observational power. Studies in cognitive psychology reveal that individuals who practice intentional silence and deep observation tend to show heightened activity in areas of the brain linked to pattern recognition and critical thinking. Sigmas use this to their advantage. They let others exhaust themselves with surface-level debates. Then, when the moment is right, they speak. One sentence, one idea, and it cuts through the noise like a blade through fog. You've probably seen this play out in meetings or social settings. The Sigma is quiet for 40 minutes. People mistake the silence for disinterest. But then, out of nowhere, he says something that completely dismantles the main argument. Not emotionally, but logically, strategically. That's the Sigma advantage. It's not just about being quiet, it's about being quiet. This terrifies people, especially those who thrive on performance and external validation. Because Sigma males don't play by those rules. They don't need applause. They don't seek approval. They speak only when it matters, and that ironically gives their voice even more power. So next time a Sigma sits silently in the corner, understand this. He's not disconnected. He's just 10 steps ahead, waiting for the right moment to strike with truth, clarity, and precision. Point 3. Sigma males intellectually intimidate without trying. You don't try to flex, but your natural independence and insight intimidate those who thrive on group validation. And that's not arrogance, it's alignment. See, Sigma males operate on a wavelength most people don't even tune into. While society is busy sorting people into alphas who lead and betas who follow, the Sigma walks his own path, quietly rewriting the rules. Let's break it down. Unlike the alpha who thrives in the spotlight or the beta who leans on direction, the Sigma thrives in solitude. He doesn't chase applause or permission. He thinks, he calculates, and then he moves with purpose. In psychology, this is linked to a strong internal locus of control, meaning Sigma males believe they are responsible for the outcomes in their lives, not luck, not people, not external forces. And that mindset is, in relationships, Sigmas don't need constant reassurance. They're not emotionally detached. They're emotionally self-sufficient. This makes them mysterious to some and intimidating to others. A woman used to men who seek validation might feel confused when the Sigma isn't constantly trying to prove his worth. But here's the kicker. His worth. That's rare. That's attractive. That's dangerous. At work, Sigmas often rise in unconventional ways. They don't play office politics. They don't try to outshine others. They just focus on the goal. Quiet competence often leads them to leadership roles, not because they demand control, but because people naturally trust their judgment. History has examples. Think of Keanu Reeves, introverted yet admired, or Steve Jobs, who rejected social norms to build something extraordinary. And here's what really shatters the alpha versus beta narrative. Sigmas win without being part of the pack. In a society addicted to groupthink and social climbing, someone who walks alone and still wins, that's unsettling. But it's also inspiring. You don't bark, you don't beg, you build. And when you speak, your results do the talking. That's not noise, that's Sigma. Point 4. You see the hidden patterns in human behavior. People lie, but patterns don't. That's the terrifying truth Sigma males live by. While most people get distracted by charm, words, or emotions, the Sigma male studies not just behaviors, but inconsistencies in tone, facial expressions, timing, and reactions. Think of him as a quiet observer in the room who doesn't speak much. But when he does, it's as if he's been reading your mind the entire time. Now here's what makes that scary to manipulators. Sigma males aren't interested in surface-level appearances. They cut through the noise and spot red flags that others ignore. It's not magic, it's psychology. Studies in behavioral science confirm that people tend to show micro-expressions when lying or hiding something. These tiny, involuntary facial movements often reveal true feelings, and Sigma males have a knack for spotting them, often without even realizing it. For example, while someone is crafting a sob story to gain sympathy, the Sigma male is watching their eyes, their hands, their pauses. Did the story change slightly each time? Did their emotions spike too quickly, then vanish just as fast? That's a pattern, and it doesn't lie. That's why manipulators absolutely Sigma males. Manipulators thrive when their targets crave approval, attention, or social validation. But the Sigma male, he doesn't need your approval. He's not emotionally reactive. He observes, calculates, and then makes his move or leaves entirely. You don't even realize you've been found out until it's too late. And while others are emotionally entangled in a manipulator's web, the Sigma male is already 5 moves ahead. He's strategizing. He's removing your influence quietly, coldly, and permanently. That's terrifying to those who rely on control, because control only works on those who don't see it coming. So remember this: people lie. Words deceive, emotions can be faked, but patterns never lie, and a Sigma male never misses them. Point 5, emotional control is your superpower. Sigma intelligence isn't just about having a high IQ or knowing random facts, it's about mastering emotional discipline. While others react impulsively, Sigma males respond with calculated precision. You don't lash out, you calculate. You don't panic, you position. That's what sets you apart in a chaotic world. You're not emotionally unavailable, you're emotionally in control. And that control, it intimidates people who thrive on emotional chaos. Let's face it, most people expect reactions. They poke, provoke, and push just to get a rise out of you. But when they come at you with drama, you treat it like spam mail, marked as irrelevant, instantly deleted and never acknowledged. That silence? It's not weakness, it's power. It's the unnerving calm before the next smart move you're already planning. Science backs this up. According to studies in emotional intelligence, Daniel Goleman's work being the most well-known, people who can regulate their emotions tend to be better leaders, more strategic thinkers, and are more resilient under pressure. Sigma males naturally operate in this space. You're not just thinking logically, you're emotionally optimized. When the world goes into meltdown mode, you're the calm in the storm. You're the guy sipping coffee, observing the chaos, while quietly orchestrating your next move like a grandmaster in a chess match. Others may see this as cold, but it's actually clarity. You're not frozen, you're focused. And that unnerves people who are addicted to emotional noise. Let's not forget the funny side of it all. While everyone's venting on group chats or having mini meltdowns over nothing, you're somewhere minding your business like your Wi-Fi only connects to peace. You ghost drama like it's a phishing email. Why engage in pointless conflict when you could invest that energy into leveling up? This is why Sigma males are often seen as mysterious, intimidating, or even emotionless, but make no mistake, it's not that you don't feel, it's that you how and when to feel. And that level of self-mastery, that's what makes your intelligence not just rare, but absolutely terrifying to the average person. In a world that's constantly trying to trigger you, your calm is the real chaos. Point 6. Sigma males learn fast and adapt faster. You're the type who can learn a skill, master it in weeks and move on. Why? Because your brain isn't wired for passive absorption. It's designed for. You don't just read manuals or memorize steps. You. That's how mastery is born. This approach is known as a proven method backed by neuroscience. When you actively apply a new skill, whether it's coding a software script, sketching a human face, or setting up a makeshift shelter, your brain forms deeper, long-lasting connections. It's the same reason apprentices in ancient guilds learned faster than students in lecture halls. They learned not just by listening, but here's the twist. You're not doing it to compete. You're not obsessed with winning the game. You're obsessed with. Most people try to get ahead by following rules. You study the rules, dissect them, and then quietly start crafting your own. This is what makes you dangerous. You're not a player. You're a designer. And it doesn't matter what field it is, tech, art, psychology, survival. Your mind treats each new challenge like a software update. You download the knowledge, patch the weaknesses, optimize the system, and then on to the next level. This, the ability to adapt, reason, and problem solve in real time, is rare. According to psychological studies, most people rely on things they've already memorized or learned, but not you. You live in motion, you thrive in unfamiliar territory. This kind of mental agility freaks people out. Why? Because most folks live on autopilot. They wake up, do the same things, follow the same steps, and expect different results. Meanwhile, you're upgrading, evolving, moving forward like you're running a silent operating system no one else has. It's not arrogance, it's instinct. You've always known you were built differently. You're not here to follow the manual. You're here to write a new one. Point 7. You don't need validation. You validate yourself. While the world chases likes, followers, and applause, the Sigma male is mastering solitude and growing in silence. This one stings for many because it challenges everything society tells you to value. You see, we live in a validation economy. Social media platforms are built on metrics that reward external approval, thumbs up, hearts, shares, and endless notifications. Most people are addicted to this feedback loop. Their sense of worth rises and falls with every comment, every view, every like. But the Sigma male? He unplugged from that game a long time ago. He's not motivated by attention. He's motivated by mastery. The Sigma male thrives in solitude, not because he's antisocial, but because he understands the power of internal growth. While others are busy curating perfect versions of themselves for online approval, the Sigma is building skills, stacking knowledge, and refining his purpose in silence. He's not shouting about his grind, he's grinding in the shadows. This kind of self-validation is often mistaken for arrogance. People ask, why doesn't he care what we think? But it's not arrogance, it's resilience. He has trained himself not to approval, and when a man no longer fears rejection or craves validation, he becomes something rare and dangerous. Psychologists call this intrinsic motivation. The drive to do something for its own sake, not for a reward. It's what fuels top athletes, inventors, and leaders. And it's what makes the Sigma male nearly untouchable. He doesn't crumble under criticism, he doesn't bend to pressure. He's immune to flattery and indifferent to insult. That's terrifying to a world built on conformity. When someone can walk away from praise and still be whole, society doesn't know what to do with him. That's why people label him mysterious, aloof, or even arrogant, but the truth is he's just free, and freedom, real freedom, is what makes him unstoppable. Point 8. You can walk away from anything and mean it. You don't stay where you're not respected. That's not pride, that's principle. And here's the thing, very few people have the strength to act on that principle. Most will stay hoping things will change, but not you. You recognize that staying in a space where your value is questioned is a silent betrayal of your worth. The terrifying part, you don't just talk about walking away, you follow through. You don't give second, third, or fourth chances just to keep the peace. You don't announce it. You don't beg to be seen. You disappear quietly, cleanly, and completely. And when you vanish, your absence isn't just noticed, it echoes, it stings. Because while others rely on loud voices and dramatic exits to get attention, your silence says everything. This level of detachment isn't rooted in coldness, it's rooted in intelligence. You understand that true self-respect involves knowing where you're welcome and where you're merely tolerated. Psychological studies show that people with higher emotional intelligence are more likely to walk away from toxic situations because they value their mental and emotional health over temporary connection, and that scares people. Why? Because society conditions us to cling, to prove, to explain. But when you operate from a place of inner clarity, you flip the script. You don't chase validation, you carry self-worth. You don't fear being alone, you fear being disrespected. This boundary isn't just personal, it's powerful. It teaches others that your time, energy, and presence are not free for abuse. And make no mistake, your absence will be more powerful than most people's presence. That's because people are used to others sticking around, even when they're mistreated. But you choose peace over proximity, and that decision radiates a kind of power that can't be faked. So no, it's not arrogance, it's alignment. You're not being dramatic, you're being decisive. And in a world that often rewards those who settle, your refusal to compromise on your worth becomes revolutionary. Here's the truth, Sigmas. Your intelligence isn't terrifying because of what you know. It's terrifying because of how you it, silently, strategically, and with unwavering discipline. Sigma males operate outside the traditional social hierarchy. They don't crave validation or attention, which is exactly why people notice them. This quiet intensity creates an aura of mystery. You're not loud, but your presence speaks volumes. In a world addicted to noise, your silence is powerful, calculated, not empty. People feel uneasy not because you intimidate them, but because you unknowingly expose their need for external approval. You're not in the game to impress. You're in it to master yourself. That's what makes you dangerous. This is the Sigma way: independence over conformity, logic over emotion, and mastery over mediocrity. If even one part of this hit home, like subscribe and join this tribe of thinkers, doers, and quiet disruptors. This is your space. Stay sharp, stay real, and stay Sigma. Sigmas. What happens when the quietest man in the room finally gets his heart shattered? Does he cry? Does he beg? Or does he disappear and come back as something unrecognizable? Here's the truth. When a Sigma male gets heartbroken, it's not just painful, it's terrifying, because heartbreak doesn't break a Sigma. It him, piece by piece, quietly, relentlessly. Let's break it down. A Sigma male is already a lone wolf, independent, self-sufficient, and deeply introspective. He doesn't love lightly. When he gives someone access to his guarded world, it's rare. So when that trust is betrayed, the aftermath isn't dramatic, it's internal, it's strategic, it's silent warfare. Unlike others who spiral in public displays of sorrow, Sigmas retreat, not out of weakness but to reconstruct. Neuropsychologists explain that highly self-aware individuals process emotional pain by detaching, reflecting, and recalibrating their internal world. That's exactly what a Sigma does. He vanishes from social circles, cuts the noise, and starts upgrading every part of himself, physically, mentally, financially. He doesn't post cryptic breakup quotes or jump into rebound flings. No. He hits the gym harder. He masters a new skill. He stacks his goals like dominoes and knocks them down one by one. This transformation is fueled not by revenge, but evolution. And here's the twist. When he resurfaces, he's sharper, stronger, completely redefined. That quiet man, he now walks like a storm with a calm face, and those who broke him, they barely recognize him. Studies on post-traumatic growth show that emotionally intelligent men who experience deep heartbreak often return more resilient, goal-driven, and emotionally mature. Sigma males embody that phenomenon to the core. So what happens when the quietest man in the room gets his heart shattered? He doesn't crumble, he evolves. He doesn't come back for closure. He comes back as the best version of himself, and the world had better be ready. Number 1, the myth of the emotionless Sigma. Let's clear something up right off the bat. Sigma males aren't emotionless robots. We're not cold-hearted. In fact, it's the of emotion that makes heartbreak so dangerous for us. Unlike other men who might vent their emotions openly or seek comfort in a crowd, Sigma males internalize everything. It's not about denial, it's about processing. When a Sigma gets hurt, he doesn't explode, he implodes, quietly, privately, intentionally. This can confuse outsiders. To the world, it looks like we're fine, maybe even indifferent, but under the surface, it's like a dormant volcano, silently building pressure. There's sorrow, there's reflection, and yes, there's fury, but not the kind that lashes out. It's the kind that fuels transformation. You see, Sigmas have a unique emotional intelligence that's often underestimated. Studies in personality psychology suggest that introverted and self-reliant individuals, traits strongly associated with the Sigma archetype, process emotional pain through introspection rather than expression. We replay events in our minds, we analyze what went wrong, and we don't move on until we've extracted the lesson. This is both our gift and our curse. On one hand, we don't make impulsive decisions out of heartbreak. We don't fall into rebound relationships or self-destructive behavior. On the other hand, we can disappear. We go dark. We pull away from the world, not because we're weak, but because healing for a Sigma is a solitary mission. And what comes out on the other side of that mission? That's the terrifying part for everyone else, because heartbreak doesn't destroy us, it evolves us. Like steel in the fire, we come back colder, sharper, more focused. And when we re-emerge, we're not the same man, we've upgraded. So next time you wonder why a Sigma male goes silent after heartbreak, don't mistake his quiet for indifference. It's not that he's unaffected, it's that he's in the lab, rebuilding his armor, rewriting his rules, and preparing to rise stronger than before. In silence we heal, in solitude we rebuild, and in pain we awaken. That's the Sigma way. Number 2, why Sigma males fall so hard. Here's the deal. Sigma males don't fall in love the way most people do. We're not diving headfirst into relationships just because someone smiles at us or gives us attention. No, Sigmas are thinkers first, feelers second. We observe from a distance. We study behavior, we look for patterns, we test your intentions. And only if you pass those silent evaluations do we start to open up. But when we fall, it's not casual. It's not surface level, it's deep, intense, and rare. A Sigma male doesn't love halfway. He gives you the full experience, unfiltered loyalty, honest vulnerability, undivided attention, and a mind that's constantly figuring out how to protect and uplift you. It's a kind of love that feels almost sacred because it's so seldom given. Now here's where it gets serious. When that love is betrayed or broken, something inside a Sigma doesn't just get sad, it transforms. but not in the way you'd expect. We're not yelling in the rain or posting sad songs on social media. No, it's far more chilling than that. We go silent. You see, Sigma males are introverted alphas. We don't need the spotlight, but we command respect. Our silence after heartbreak isn't about avoidance. It's a recalibration. It's the storm before the reinvention. Neurologically, Sigmas tend to engage the prefrontal cortex more often, the region responsible for reflection and planning. So when things go wrong emotionally, we don't spiral. We strategize. We analyze what broke us, and then we rebuild, but stronger, more focused, more dangerous in a good way. That heartbreak becomes fuel for ambition, discipline, and self-evolution. We channel pain into progress. It's like heartbreak unlocks a hidden level inside us, a level that's sharper, colder, but unshakably determined. This is why losing a Sigma is often someone's biggest regret. We weren't just a fling or a phase, we were the calm storm they didn't know how to handle, and once we're gone, we don't come back. We disappear into a new version of ourselves, and that version doesn't tolerate betrayal twice. So no, Sigmas don't fall easily, but when we do and when it breaks, it doesn't destroy us, it upgrades us. Number 3, the quiet disappearance ghost mode activated. When heartbreak hits, a Sigma male doesn't broadcast his pain. There's no dramatic Instagram post or teary late-night rant, no cryptic tweets or public self-pity. He vanishes, just like that. Disappears from group chats, skips hangouts, and detaches from the digital noise. But make no mistake, this isn't a breakdown, it's a reset. You see, Sigmas are wired differently. They're lone wolves by nature, often choosing solitude over attention. And when pain knocks on their door, they don't open it for sympathy, they use it as fuel. This phase, what many call ghost mode, isn't isolation, it's incubation. It's where the real metamorphosis begins. In psychology, this aligns with the concept of post-traumatic growth, where adversity becomes a catalyst for self-improvement. Studies show that individuals who process emotional setbacks in solitude often emerge more resilient, self-aware, and driven. That's exactly what a Sigma male does. He doesn't retreat to feel sorry for himself, he retreats to reforge his identity. The gym becomes his therapy chamber, not for vanity, but discipline. Exercise, proven to release endorphins and reduce cortisol, helps him regulate stress and rebuild confidence. Books replace small talk. In those pages, he sharpens his mind, absorbs wisdom, and cultivates inner peace. Business ideas replace fantasy. Instead of replaying painful memories, he channels energy into purpose, whether it's launching a project, mastering a skill, or planning his next move. This phase is quiet, but powerful. Like a snake shedding its skin, the Sigma uses pain to grow. He upgrades his mindset, his habits, and his future, and when he finally returns from ghost mode, he's not the same man. He's better, stronger, wiser, more focused. To the world, it looks like he just disappeared, but behind the scenes, he was evolving, so the next time a Sigma male vanishes after heartbreak, don't assume he's broken. He's rebuilding, brick by brick, in silence. And trust this, when he comes back, the world will notice. Number 4, the self-reflection phase, turning pain into wisdom. Unlike most, Sigma males don't just move on, they evolve. Every heartbreak becomes a lesson. Every betrayal becomes a blueprint. Sigma males process pain differently, while others may seek comfort or distraction. Sigmas retreat into solitude, not to escape, but to rebuild. This isn't about nursing wounds, it's about transformation. Heartbreak forces the Sigma into a silent self-audit where he questions not just what happened, but it happened, and what it revealed about his choices, values, and emotional blind spots. This is where it gets intense. Sigma males are introspective by nature, and heartbreak becomes fuel for inner recalibration. They start refining their standards, what they'll tolerate, who they'll let in, and what kind of energy they'll allow near them. Emotional boundaries get tighter. They don't just raise the bar, they the bar. According to psychological studies on emotional resilience, people who engage in reflective solitude often experience post-traumatic growth. For Sigmas, this is magnified. They're not just getting over someone, they're using the pain to unlock a more powerful version of themselves. And that's the terrifying part, because when a Sigma emerges from heartbreak, he doesn't come back the same. He comes back smarter, more emotionally fortified, and far more selective. He may still be quiet, but his silence is now laced with purpose. He may still observe from the shadows, but now with sharper eyes and a sharper mind. He becomes a man of strategy, one who's hard to fool, harder to manipulate, and impossible to break. Heartbreak doesn't break the Sigma, it upgrades him. It's like forging a blade. Fire doesn't destroy steel, it tempers it. The same goes for Sigmas. Pain doesn't weaken them, it makes them lethal in silence. They become the kind of man who walks into a room and doesn't have to say a word. Yet somehow everyone listens. So if you ever wonder what happens when a Sigma male gets heartbroken, understand this. He's not recovering, he's reinventing. And what rises from that emotional wreckage is not a broken man, but a silent storm you never saw coming. Number 5, the comeback. Stronger, sharper, untouchable. Then out of nowhere he returns, but not the same. He's leaner, focused, his eyes sharper, his presence heavier. He doesn't seek revenge, he doesn't need closure. His growth, the revenge. This is not your typical heartbreak story. This is the Sigma male transformation arc, a psychological and emotional metamorphosis that defies the usual narrative. When a Sigma male gets heartbroken, he doesn't drown himself in distractions or spiral in self-pity. He doesn't parade his pain on social media or look for validation from the outside world. Instead, he retreats into the shadows, not to hide, but to, let's break this down. Sigma males are known for their independent nature, introspective thinking, and emotional self-sufficiency. According to psychologist Carl Jung's archetypes, Sigmas embody the lone wolf personality, someone who operates outside the dominance hierarchy, often detached but deeply observant. And when that kind of man gets hurt, he doesn't collapse, he recalibrates. Scientifically, heartbreak activates the same regions of the brain that physical pain does, the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, but instead of being consumed by this pain, the Sigma male uses it as data. Pain becomes fuel. Betrayal becomes a blueprint. He'll hit the gym, not out of vanity, but discipline. He'll read more, not to escape, but to evolve. He'll refine his goals, not out of spite, but clarity. And one day, without warning, he resurfaces. He's not back to win her back. He's not back to show off. He's just back, better, upgraded. The heartbreak didn't break him. It rebooted him. It was never about revenge. It was always about transcendence. In a society obsessed with quick fixes and rebound relationships, the Sigma male takes the path least traveled: solitude, reflection, and self-mastery. And in that silence, he becomes something rare, something powerful. So the next time a Sigma disappears after heartbreak, don't assume he's shattered. Know this, he's sharpening. And when he returns, he won't be asking for closure. He the closure. Number 6, the emotional shift. Love isn't off the table, but here's the twist. Sigmas don't give up on love. We just get surgical about who gets access next. Let's break that down. When a Sigma male experiences heartbreak, it doesn't send him into a spiral of desperation. Instead, it sharpens him. Like a samurai who survives betrayal, he doesn't swear off the blade. He simply learns to wield it with more precision. That's what becoming is all about. Emotional minimalism isn't the absence of feelings, it's the intentional filtering of emotional investments. Sigmas aren't cold, they're cautious. Every word, every connection, every shared moment now goes through a quiet, invisible test. Psychologically, this is known as. After a painful experience, the brain naturally builds protective walls to avoid repeating trauma. According to studies in neuropsychology, our amygdala, the part of the brain that processes emotions, becomes more sensitive after emotional injury. In response, Sigma males evolve. They streamline their connections, not to isolate, but to preserve their peace. Now, they don't chase, they observe, they don't over-explain. They let people reveal themselves. And most importantly, they no longer trade their energy for surface-level affection. That's not bitterness. Think of it like cleaning out a cluttered hard drive. Sigmas remove the malware, those who drained them, ghosted them, or pretended to care, and upgrade their emotional operating system. They run leaner, faster, sharper. They begin to seek loyalty, not lust, depth, not drama, consistency, not chaos. And that makes them magnetic. Why? Because in a world where many are hungry for attention, the Sigma is content in silence, waiting for someone who speaks his language of depth and loyalty. So, no, Sigmas don't give up on love. They just level up their standards. Love still matters, but now... Number 7, humor in the dark. Let's be honest, somewhere in this process, we laugh. At the red flags we ignored, like how she said she wasn't ready for a relationship while already treating you like a part-time husband with full-time emotional labor, or how her phone was always upside down, yet she swore she had nothing to hide. We laugh because deep down we know it was never about losing her, it was about finding ourselves. That's the Sigma's secret weapon, transformation through solitude. Here's the truth, heartbreak hits everyone, but Sigma males handle it differently. They don't rant on social media, they don't start posting gym selfies with vague captions like rising from the ashes. No, they vanish, not to sulk, but to rebuild. They go full Batman mode, low profile, high focus. The psychology behind this, it's the ability to convert emotional pain into productive energy. Napoleon Hill wrote about it. Carl Jung hinted at it. Sigmas live it. Science backs it up too. A 2007 study published in found that emotional pain lights up the same brain regions as physical pain. But here's where it gets interesting. Resilience, self-awareness, and a sense of purpose can literally dull the pain. That's Sigma territory. While others spiral into rebound relationships and seek validation, the Sigma male alchemizes heartbreak. He dives into new skills, new goals, and new mental frameworks. He might learn a language, start a business, move in silence. While she's posting TikToks with a new guy 3 weeks later, he's out here leveling up without saying a word. And yes, we laugh at the drama we escaped, at how she said, "You'll never find better," like she was a limited edition collectible. Meanwhile, we're sipping green tea, trading crypto, hitting cold plunges, and listening to Jordan Peterson interviews like they're mixtapes. This isn't bitterness, it's evolution. Sigma males aren't afraid of being alone because solitude is their sanctuary. It's where they recalibrate, reflect, reinvent. So if you're in that post-heartbreak phase, just remember this. Pain is temporary, but the glow-up is permanent. Especially when you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, because the ultimate flex is not revenge, it's reinvention. And if you can laugh along the way, even better. After all, turning pain into punchlines isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the Sigma way. Lessons to take home. What every Sigma learns from heartbreak. Your emotional depth is a rare and powerful thing. It's your ability to feel, connect, and understand on a level that goes beyond surface conversations. But here's the hard truth. Depth isn't for everyone. Psychologists call this emotional intelligence, and not everyone develops it. Some people operate on shallow wavelengths. They're not wired to appreciate or reciprocate profound connection. So when you offer your depth to the wrong person, it can feel like casting pearls before swine. Save that depth for people who are capable of swimming, not those who panic in the deep end. Healthy relationships are built on mutual effort. Just because someone likes you or even says they love you doesn't mean you owe them the same in return. Real love involves time, trust, and respect, none of which can be demanded. According to relationship experts like Dr. John Gottman, lasting love is rooted in small, consistent actions that build over time. So no, love isn't a debt, it's a gift, and not everyone qualifies to receive it. Peace isn't just a vibe, it's a psychological need. Chronic stress from toxic relationships can lead to anxiety, insomnia, even heart problems. That's not drama, it's science. Your nervous system thrives in calm, safe environments. That's why letting go of someone who constantly disrupts your peace isn't selfish, it's survival. Protecting your peace isn't weakness, it's emotional maturity. Sometimes the best revenge isn't a dramatic exit speech, it's silence and success. When you level up, emotionally, spiritually, financially, you close chapters without saying a word. Growth becomes your statement. According to studies on post-traumatic growth, people who face hardship and channel it into personal development often come out stronger and more self-aware. That's the kind of closure no apology can compete with. Transformation isn't comfortable. Like gold refined by fire, you become more resilient by enduring hardship. Research shows that resilience is built through adversity, not comfort. The fire may burn, but it also reveals what you're made of. You don't just bounce back, you rebuild better, wiser, and stronger. But first, you have to face the flames. Sigmas. If this message resonated with you, if you've ever walked through heartbreak and came out sharper, wiser, and more unstoppable, then this is your community. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and join this tribe of men who don't settle, don't beg, and don't break. Apply the Sigma qualities to your life. Choose growth, choose silence, and choose self-respect. Stay true and stay Sigma. Sigmas, ever wondered what's going on behind those curious eyes watching you? Here's the deal, there are things about you that women notice, but you have absolutely no clue. This is 8 things Sigma males have no idea women notice about them. And trust me, you're going to be stunned by what you're about to discover. Sigmas, I know you're out there, independent, self-reliant, and completely unfazed by what society thinks. You're the lone wolves, the ones who walk a path that most men only dream about. But guess what? Even though you're not paying attention, women are. They see things in you that you might not even see in yourself. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Let's break it down point by point so you can see how your unique presence leaves a trail of intrigue wherever you go. For instance, did you know that your calm confidence is more noticeable than you think? Research shows that nonverbal communication accounts for up to 93% of what people perceive. Your subtle cues, the way you hold eye contact, your calm demeanor, these are things women pick up on instantly. Women also notice your independence and purpose-driven mindset. A 2019 study from the Journal of Social Psychology reveals that people are drawn to those who have a clear sense of self. And let's not forget your mysterious aura. Studies have found that curiosity and intrigue can significantly increase attraction because it sparks the imagination. Your thoughtful silences and genuine presence speak volumes. Even though you're not one to brag, your quiet strength leaves an unforgettable impression. So next time you see those curious eyes on you, remember, you're already making waves without even trying. Let's dive deeper into these 8 powerful traits and explore how they turn you into an enigma that captivates hearts. Point 1, your mysterious aura. All right, Sigmas, let's start with the obvious that you might not even realize your mysterious aura. It's not something you craft or fake, it's just part of your DNA. When you enter a room, even if you don't say a single word, your energy speaks volumes. It's a quiet confidence, a calm certainty that sets you apart. You're not trying to be the loudest or the flashiest. No, your strength lies in your stillness. And believe me, that's exactly what makes women so intrigued. Think about it. While the average guy might be busy showing off or trying to impress, you're the one who stands firm in his own vibe. This kind of presence is a breath of fresh air in a world that often seems overrun with noise. Psychologists call this nonverbal dominance, where your body language speaks even louder than your words. Studies have shown that women often notice subtle cues like posture, facial expressions, and calmness, cues you naturally radiate. Women are drawn to this mystery like a moth to a flame. They see a puzzle, a depth that isn't immediately obvious. Your mysterious aura suggests that there's more beneath the surface, a story they're dying to hear. Evolutionary biology even has a say in this. Mystery triggers curiosity, and curiosity in turn heightens attraction. So your "I'm just minding my own business" demeanor, it's not just a random look, it's a magnet. Here's the real kicker. This aura of mystery isn't something you can fake. It's woven into your character. You're not broadcasting every thought or feeling, and that restraint is powerful. In fact, research from the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people who hold back a little are perceived as more intriguing and more desirable. So the next time you're just sitting back, observing the chaos around you, remember that you're radiating a quiet magnetism that's hard to resist. Who knew that your natural stillness was basically a siren call, right? You're not out here playing games or putting on a show. You're just being you. Calm, confident, and mysterious. And that's exactly why women can't look away. Keep owning that. It's your superpower. Point 2, your independence. Sigmas, your solo mindset is legendary. While most people are out there constantly seeking validation, liking posts, fishing for compliments, and craving approval, you're perfectly content doing your own thing. No entourage, no hype squad. You're like a one-man wolf pack. And that's rare in a world that thrives on social feedback. But here's the thing you might not notice. Women are watching that independence, and it triggers something deep and primal. It says, this guy doesn't need anyone to complete him, and that's a bold statement, one you don't even need to say out loud. It's felt. Independence signals self-respect, and that's a magnet for attention, especially in a culture that equates self-worth with social validation. Science backs it up too. Studies show that self-reliant individuals are seen as more confident and emotionally stable, qualities that are hardwired into human attraction psychology. Women are biologically programmed to seek partners who project security and self-assurance, traits that come standard with your Sigma mindset. Think about it. In an era when everyone's glued to their phone, your refusal to answer texts instantly isn't just a quirk, it's basically your brand. It says you've got bigger fish to fry than responding to every ping, and that makes you more mysterious, more intriguing. Historically, lone wolves have always fascinated society. From the rugged frontiersman to the modern digital nomad, the idea of the self-sufficient wanderer is romanticized for a reason. It speaks to resilience, to an ability to thrive without external support. But let's be real, this independence isn't just about being cool or aloof. It's about knowing yourself, trusting your path, and not feeling pressured to follow the crowd. And that's liberating in a world that tries to tell you who to be. So, the next time you're chilling alone, remember, you're not missing out. You're building something bigger. Inner strength, authenticity, and yes, a quiet confidence that speaks louder than words ever could. Keep doing your thing, Sigma. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. Point 3, your focus and drive. Sigmas, you're wired differently. While most people are busy chasing trends and social approval, you're out there crafting your own path. Your vision isn't based on what's popular, it's based on what's. This is a key part of the Sigma male archetype, a concept first explored in the early 2010s to describe men who move outside traditional social hierarchies. Instead of seeking validation or external approval, you operate with a quiet confidence that's rooted in self-reliance and inner strength. This kind of focus is magnetic. When people see you working tirelessly towards your vision, it's not just about the project or the paycheck. It's about the energy you bring. That unwavering attention you give to your goals is like a craftsman carving a sculpture, shaping every detail with precision. And guess what? Women notice that. They can't help but wonder, what's he working on that's so captivating? You see, the brain is hardwired to pick up on people who are fully engaged. Studies in psychology and human attraction have shown that passion and purpose are among the most attractive traits someone can display. When you're deeply invested in something, your body language, tone of voice, and even your aura shift. It's not about being flashy, it's about the quiet power of someone who's sure of themselves. Think about it, even your obsession with perfecting your morning coffee ritual, getting the water temperature just right, the grind size dialed in, it's not just a quirky habit, it shows you're deliberate, attentive to detail, and committed to quality. These seemingly small acts are signals of your larger mindset. You don't settle for mediocrity. The Sigma male's life is about aligning actions with values. Whether it's learning a new language, sculpting a business idea, or just refining your craft, it all circles back to purpose. This is rare in a world that's often distracted by trends and noise, and that's why people are drawn to you. Your path is yours alone, and that authenticity resonates far more deeply than any loud brag or flashy display. In the end, it's about the legacy you're building, one deliberate step at a time. Point 4, your calm confidence. Sigmas, let's dive deeper into your calm confidence. It's that quiet yet powerful presence that sets you apart. In a world that's obsessed with noise and attention-seeking behavior, your tranquility is like a magnet. It draws people in without you even trying. Research in psychology shows that calm individuals often exude higher levels of self-assurance and emotional stability. While the world is busy flexing its muscles, you're like the deep ocean, still on the surface but with powerful currents beneath. This is not about being indifferent or detached. It's about self-mastery. You know exactly who you are, and you don't feel the need to prove it. Women especially notice this. In a sea of loud personalities and attention seekers, your calmness is like a breath of fresh air. It's an instant sign of emotional intelligence and maturity. When you stand quietly, seemingly lost in thought, it sends a message. You're in control of yourself and your environment. Studies suggest that this kind of composed demeanor is deeply attractive because it signals strength, reliability, and depth of character. Think of it like a lighthouse in a stormy sea. While others are busy getting tossed around by waves of drama and gossip, you remain steady and unwavering. That's a rare quality that naturally commands respect and admiration. But let's be clear, this calm confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about having a firm foundation, knowing your values and sticking to them. You're not easily swayed by fleeting trends or pointless arguments. Even if someone's debating pineapple on pizza with all the passion of a political debate, You're just quietly enjoying your drink, not because you don't have an opinion, but because you know it's not worth your energy. This is the beauty of the Sigma mindset. You're not here to be the loudest in the room. You're here to be the most grounded. Your calm presence is an oasis in the chaos, a testament to your emotional independence, and that's what makes you unforgettable. So remember, Sigmas, while others chase the spotlight, your calm confidence lights up the entire room without saying a single word. Point 5, your unpredictability. Here's something that really flies under your radar. Your unpredictability. Sigmas, you're not the kind of man who follows a script. One minute you're deep in your thoughts, the next you're out exploring a new place. And that unpredictability, it's like a treasure hunt for women. They notice how you're not stuck in a boring routine. You're spontaneous in ways that keep them guessing, and guessing keeps them hooked. Your unpredictability isn't about being reckless. It's about living in the moment. And that's a vibe women crave. So why does this matter? Psychologists say that unpredictability creates a sense of novelty and excitement, which the human brain is hardwired to crave. When you break the mold, you're sending a subtle message. Life with you is an adventure, not a predictable march from point A to B. This taps into something called the intermittent reward effect. Studies show that when experiences are unpredictable, people's brains produce more dopamine, the feel-good chemical linked to excitement and pleasure. Think of it like a roller coaster. The dips and turns make the ride unforgettable. Your unpredictability works the same way. And it's not just for romantic relationships either. It fuels creativity, keeps you open to new experiences, and shows that you're not afraid of the unknown. In fact, it's a trait that has long been linked to leadership and innovation. Studies in behavioral psychology have found that people who are open to unpredictable scenarios are better at problem solving and adapting to change. For you, Sigma, unpredictability is a natural expression of your independence. You're not stuck following the crowd or chasing validation. You let your curiosity guide you, and that's magnetic. Women see this as a refreshing alternative to the typical guy who's predictable to a fault. It suggests you have depth, complexity, and a willingness to take risks in life. Basically, you're the human version of a plot twist. No one knows what you'll do next, not even you. And in a world that often feels stuck on repeat, that's a quality that stands out like a beacon. So embrace your unpredictability. It's not about playing games, it's about staying true to yourself and letting the excitement of life unfold one spontaneous step at a time. Point 6, your emotional depth. You're not one for drama, but that doesn't mean you're shallow. In fact, research from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships shows that individuals who identify with Sigma male traits often possess a heightened sense of emotional intelligence. Sigmas feel deeply but choose to process those emotions privately. This doesn't make you aloof, it means you're authentic and self-aware. When it comes to relationships, women pick up on this instantly. They notice how you don't just listen to reply, you listen to understand. Your conversations go beyond the surface. Studies suggest that deep listening and empathy can foster stronger connections and trust. That's something Sigma males do naturally, and let's face it, it's not about putting on a show. While others might overshare to impress, you'd rather stay quiet and let your actions speak for you. Your emotional depth is like a hidden well, calm on the surface, but if someone's willing to dive in, they'll find real strength and vulnerability. It's this rare combination of stoic independence and inner sensitivity that women find magnetic. It's not flashy, but it's genuine and it's powerful. Meanwhile, you're probably thinking, I'm just tired of small talk. Let's be honest, shallow banter isn't your style. That's because you're wired for meaningful connection. A study from the University of Arizona found that deeper conversations boost overall happiness and life satisfaction. And for Sigma males, that's the sweet spot. You're not trying to fill the air with empty words, you're interested in what matters. Sure, you might not spill your soul in the first 5 minutes, but that doesn't mean you're not paying attention. You're observing, learning, and choosing your moments carefully. And while some people might mistake that for distance, women can sense that there's more to you than meets the eye. So embrace that depth. It's not something everyone understands, but that's okay. It's your quiet superpower, the thing that sets you apart and draws others in. Let the world chatter on, you'll be here, holding space for real conversations and real emotions. And for those who see it, that's where the magic happens. Point 7, your untouched spirit. You don't bend to fit in. You're not here to play by anyone else's rules. That authenticity, it's like a superpower. Women notice how you're not here to impress because you're already living in your truth. You're the rare breed who'd rather be alone than fake. And that's pure gold in a world of clones. Sigmas never underestimate how attractive it is to be true to yourself. Your refusal to compromise, that's a testament to your character. Translation: you're basically the guy who won't do a TikTok dance just because everyone else is doing it. Let's dive deeper. In a world driven by social conformity, it's easy to get swept up in trends and expectations. Research by social psychologist Solomon Asch in the 1950s showed just how powerful the pressure to conform can be. His famous line experiment revealed that many people will go along with the crowd even if they know the group is wrong. But Sigma males stand apart. Much like the minority in Asch's experiment who stayed true to their own perception, this authenticity is magnetic because it signals confidence, self-respect, and emotional independence, traits that naturally draw others in. Studies in evolutionary psychology suggest that authenticity and self-assuredness are deeply attractive because they're markers of inner stability and reliability, key traits in any healthy relationship. And here's the entertaining part. While everyone else is busy synchronizing dance moves or mimicking the latest social media challenge, the Sigma male is out there forging his own path. You're not afraid to stand out or stand alone if it means staying real. That's a rare quality in a world dominated by social media algorithms and endless scrolling. Women are hardwired to spot the difference. When you refuse to perform, to put on a mask for the sake of approval, you create a safe space where honesty reigns. Your authenticity resonates because it's rooted in strength, not in the need for external validation. So keep doing you, Sigma. Your refusal to compromise is more than just personal pride. It's a silent anthem of independence that others can't help but respect. Stay authentic, stay unshaken, and watch how that inner power speaks louder than any viral dance ever could. Point 8, your detached but present energy. And finally, Sigmas, your detached yet present energy, is a paradox that fascinates women. Psychologists have found that this trait, often called selective engagement, taps into a primal curiosity. You're there, listening, absorbing, but not fully tethered. Your mind always seems to hover above the moment, as if it's scanning for deeper meaning or hidden patterns. Women pick up on this instantly. It's that subtle mystery of someone who's present enough to be attentive, but distant enough to keep their own center of gravity. This balance suggests to them a man who's not desperate for validation, someone whose self-worth isn't tied to the immediate social scene. In social psychology, it's tied to the concept of non-reactive presence. You're not overly eager to impress, and that calm self-possession is incredibly magnetic. It's like you're rooted in the present, yet your thoughts are having a conversation of their own, reaching for something bigger. So when you're at a party, it's not just about mingling, it's about being there, without being owned by the moment. That vibe says, I'm here, but I have my own kingdom to rule later. And that's the elusive, captivating energy that keeps women intrigued and wanting more. So, Sigmas, here's the bottom line. While you're out there doing your thing, living your truth and refusing to follow the crowd, women are noticing every little detail, your mystery, your independence, your calm confidence, your unpredictability. These aren't just quirks. They're reflections of a deeper truth. You're living life on your own terms, and that's magnetic in ways you'll never fully realize. But don't let this get to your head. It's not about trying to impress. It's about continuing to live your purpose, your values, and your journey. That's what makes you a Sigma, and that's what keeps the world and the women curious and captivated. Greetings, Sigmas. While many people crave control because it boosts their sense of importance and power, Sigma males stand apart. They're like lone wolves, immune to manipulation and control no matter how hard others try. Why? Let's unpack this. Sigma males thrive outside the social dominance hierarchy. They're independent thinkers, not followers or leaders in the traditional sense. Their refusal to conform to society's unwritten rules makes them hard to control. They don't feel the need to impress others or seek validation, which strips away a lot of the power manipulators have over them. Psychologists have noted that control often hinges on a person's fear of rejection or desire for approval. But Sigmas are wired differently. Their self-worth doesn't rely on external validation, making them nearly impossible to guilt trip or manipulate. They simply don't care what others think. This isn't just stubbornness, it's a mindset rooted in self-awareness. Sigma males often spend a lot of time alone, which gives them the space to understand themselves and their core values. They know what they want, and they're comfortable saying no to what doesn't align with their goals. The Sigma male's independence also means he isn't tethered to anyone's expectations. He doesn't owe anyone anything, so the usual emotional hooks don't work. He's free to chart his own course and make decisions that suit him, not because someone else says it's right. In a world obsessed with status and control, the Sigma male is a refreshing anomaly. He reminds us that true freedom comes not from controlling others, but from mastering oneself. So Sigmas, keep marching to the beat of your own drum, because that's where real power lies. Number 1, you disappear without explanation, and it's magnetic. Sigmas, let's talk about one of your most intriguing traits, your ability to vanish without a trace. No explanations, no check-ins, no updates, like a ghost who's left no footprints. To most people, this might seem inconsiderate or confusing, but to the right woman, it's absolutely captivating. Why does this work? It's all about breaking the predictable pattern. Most men are stuck in a cycle of constant communication, texting, calling, seeking reassurance that the connection is still alive. It's like an endless loop of, are you still there? Do you still like me? But you, Sigmas, you're different. You're not here to play that game. You vanish because you're busy, building your empire, recharging in your solitude, or simply living life on your own terms. This sends a powerful and subtle message. You're not desperate for attention. You're not looking for validation. You're living your life in alignment with your purpose, and that's magnetic. When you disappear, you spark a woman's curiosity. Where did he go? What is he doing? It taps into her natural intrigue and fires up her imagination. You become a puzzle to be solved, a story to be uncovered. Psychologically, this plays on the principle of scarcity and uncertainty, two potent forces that increase attraction. Research in behavioral psychology shows that when something is less available, it's perceived as more valuable. So when you're not constantly present, your absence becomes an invitation to wonder and dream. But let's be clear, Sigmas. Your disappearing act isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about living authentically. You value your own space and time because you know your worth. You're not afraid to step back, knowing that the right woman will respect and even admire that. You're not here to be anyone's emotional crutch. You're here to live fully and freely. This approach sets you apart from the crowd. You're not the guy who's always there, trying to please. You're the man of mystery, the one who's comfortable in his solitude. And in a world where everyone's clamoring for attention, your calm indifference and quiet focus are rare and irresistible. So embrace it, Sigmas. Your vanishing act is more than just a quirk. It's a testament to your independence and your refusal to be defined by anyone else's expectations. That's pure Sigma power. Keep living on your terms. Your mystery is your strength. Number 2, you're deeply immersed in your passions, and it's contagious. Next up, Sigmas. Let's talk about your tendency to become totally immersed in your passions. Whether it's writing poetry at midnight, tinkering away at your car, or dedicating yourself to some personal project. You're unstoppable when you're in your element. This is no accident. Science backs it up. Studies have shown that when we're engaged in something we love, our brains release a powerful mix of dopamine and endorphins, making us feel truly alive. This flow state, as psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi coined it, is the secret sauce behind your intense focus and unstoppable drive. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This passionate focus is magnetic. When you're in the zone, you're not just working, you're radiating purpose and authenticity. That's one of the most attractive qualities you can display. A 2018 study found that people who show genuine passion in their lives tend to be seen as more confident and attractive. This isn't about trying to impress anyone. It's about fully showing up in your own skin. Imagine a woman watching you lose yourself in your work, seeing you light up as you chase your dreams. She doesn't just see the task, she sees your spark. It's downright inspiring. Because let's face it, everyone wants to feel that kind of purpose in their own lives. When you embody it, you're giving others permission to find their own passion too. Think of it as your superpower. That deep immersion in your craft makes you magnetic, a beacon of possibility. You're not following a crowd or trying to be someone you're not. You're simply alive in your mission, so don't be afraid to let that passion consume you, Sigmas. Whether you're mastering a skill, building a side hustle, or creating something out of nothing, this is your edge. Keep diving in. Because the world and the women in it are drawn to that rare, authentic energy you bring when you're fully alive. Number 3, you speak less, but when you do, it's gold. All right, Sigmas, let's get real. You're not the chattiest guy in the room, and that's not because you don't have anything to say. Small talk, not your thing. You'd rather listen, observe, and wait until you've got something meaningful to contribute. Here's where it gets interesting. While the average person might see this as a social flaw, it's actually one of your greatest strengths. Research in social dynamics has shown that people who speak less tend to be perceived as more intelligent and trustworthy. Think about it. When you're not filling the air with mindless chatter, you're actually giving your words more power. This is why, when you do decide to speak, your words carry a weight that can't be ignored. It's not just about being quiet, it's about being intentional. You're not talking to fill a gap, you're talking to make a point. And women? They notice this immediately. Your ability to stay silent but be fully present sends a strong signal that you're not trying to impress or seek validation. You're just there, calm, collected, curious. This is a rare quality in a world obsessed with constant updates and endless commentary. When you finally share your perspective, it's like a hidden gem being revealed, a moment of unexpected insight, humor, or genuine emotion. And she'll hang on to every word because it's clear that you're not just another guy making noise. You're a man who thinks before he speaks. Psychologists call this the power of verbal economy, the art of saying less but meaning more. It's a timeless trait of great leaders, artists, and thinkers throughout history. From Marcus Aurelius to Bruce Lee, they understood that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. You too harness this ancient wisdom in your daily interactions. So remember this, Sigmas, your silence isn't emptiness, it's presence. In a world of constant noise, your quiet strength is a breath of fresh air. Don't let anyone tell you that you need to be the loudest voice in the room to make an impact. When you finally speak, the world will listen. And that's the true power of the Sigma male. Number 4, you're unapologetically yourself, even if it's quirky. Sigmas, you're not here to fit in. Your lifestyle is an expression of who you are, not who you think you should be. That's why you don't mind if your interests are a little unconventional, like collecting vintage records or reading philosophy on a Friday night. Instead of following the crowd, you carve out your own path and let your interests reflect your truest self. Here's the weird part. Women find this authenticity irresistible. Psychologists say that authenticity is magnetic because it signals trustworthiness and emotional stability, qualities that women are biologically and psychologically drawn to. When you're genuinely passionate about your hobbies, you're showing the world that you're not trying to impress anyone. You're just being you. This signals confidence and security, two traits that have been linked to attractiveness in countless studies. Confidence doesn't come from being loud or flashy, it comes from owning your quirks and wearing them like a badge of honor. Researchers at the University of California found that individuals who express themselves authentically, even in small ways, report higher levels of self-esteem and life satisfaction. So that record collection, or that quiet Friday night spent with a philosophy book, those aren't just hobbies, they're statements of independence. Moreover, when you embrace your unconventional interests, you're also tapping into a fundamental psychological principle, the scarcity effect. People are naturally drawn to things that are rare or unique, and that includes personality traits. Your refusal to conform makes you a rarity in a world full of copies. You become a breath of fresh air in a sea of sameness. So stay weird, Sigmas. The world doesn't need more of the same. It needs more of you. Keep following your passions. Keep nurturing those weird quirks and keep living on your own terms. Whether it's the quiet satisfaction of a solo adventure or the thrill of chasing a new obsession, remember that the greatest freedom is being fully yourself. Because when you live life on your own terms, you don't just attract attention, you inspire it. And that, Sigmas, is your real superpower. Number 5, you're elusive but attentive. Sigmas, let's break down this paradox that women find both confusing and irresistible. On one hand, you're elusive. She can't pin you down because you're not the guy who's constantly available, texting back within seconds, or adjusting your life to fit hers. You have your own mission, your own boundaries, and that's exactly what sets you apart. This hard-to-reach aura taps into something ancient in human psychology, the law of scarcity. What's rare becomes valuable. When she realizes she can't have you on demand, it heightens the mystery and the allure. It's not about playing games, it's about having a life worth living outside of your relationship. You're not just filling empty hours. You're focused on your passions, your goals, and your personal growth, and that's magnetic. But here's the twist that keeps her hooked. When you do spend time together, you're not distracted or half-present. You're all in. You listen, you engage, and you create a space where she feels truly seen and understood. Studies in social psychology show that active listening, like mirroring body language, asking thoughtful questions, and giving undivided attention, triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This deepens the emotional connection and makes her feel safe and valued. This push-pull dynamic isn't manipulation, it's authenticity. You're not offering your attention to just anyone, and that's what makes it special. It's the difference between fast food and a gourmet meal. One is everywhere and cheap, the other is carefully crafted and memorable. Women are wired to be drawn to men who have their own purpose and direction. Evolutionary biology suggests that independent men signal strength and self-sufficiency, traits that have been attractive for thousands of years. Your self-reliance and independence show her that you're not seeking validation, you're sharing your life because you choose to, not because you need to. So Sigmas, keep this in mind. Your attention is a precious gift. It's a limited resource, like gold in a world of fool's gold. Don't waste it on anyone who doesn't appreciate its value. When you're present, be fully present, and when you're not, be fully gone. This is how you create a connection that's both rare and real, and that's how you keep her truly captivated. And number 6, you're unshakably independent, and it shows. Here's a truth bomb for all the Sigmas out there. Your independence is your crown. But this isn't just about money or career success. Yes, being financially independent is impressive, but what truly sets Sigma males apart is mental and emotional self-sufficiency. That means you don't rely on others to define your worth or dictate your happiness. And let me tell you, that kind of independence is incredibly rare. Most men spend a significant part of their lives seeking external approval. Whether it's from women, friends, family, or society, many measure their success or self-esteem based on others' opinions. The Sigma male flips this script completely. You're comfortable standing alone, not out of stubbornness or pride, but because you genuinely don't need anyone else's validation to feel complete. This self-possession isn't just a personality quirk, it's a powerful signal. It shows you've done the internal work to know who you are, what you want, and what you won't tolerate. Psychological studies support this idea. Research on emotional intelligence shows that people who are emotionally self-sufficient tend to have stronger resilience, better decision-making skills, and healthier relationships. When you're secure in yourself, you don't cling to people out of fear or insecurity, and that freedom is magnetic. Women, in particular, pick up on this vibe quickly. They notice when a man isn't desperate for approval or attention. Instead, they see someone who can walk away at any moment, not because he's arrogant or dismissive, but because he respects himself too much to settle for less than he deserves. This energy is intoxicating because it's rare to find someone who's so confidently grounded. When you stay rooted in your independence, every relationship you form becomes a choice rather than a necessity. That means you enter connections from a place of strength and freedom, not neediness or desperation. This not only makes your relationships healthier, but also more fulfilling. So Sigmas, keep wearing that crown of independence proudly. Cultivate your mental and emotional self-sufficiency just as fiercely as your financial freedom. Because when you're whole on your own, you're not just living life, you're mastering it. And that mastery, it's what makes you truly irresistible. Number 7, you have that mysterious aura, and it's enchanting. Finally, Sigmas, let's dive into what might just be the crown jewel of your unique vibe, your aura. That intangible yet powerful air of mystery you carry around like a signature scent. It's not just some quirky trait, it's a magnetic force, especially when it comes to attracting women. Psychology and social studies actually back this up. Mystery creates intrigue, and intrigue naturally draws people closer. Think about it. When someone holds back just enough, they become a puzzle. And humans, especially in romantic contexts, love puzzles. It's wired into our brains. Studies in social psychology reveal that when people don't reveal everything about themselves right away, others become more curious and engaged. This is called the information gap theory. The less we know, the more our minds fill in the blanks, often making the unknown even more fascinating. This is exactly what happens with a Sigma male's aura. You're not the guy who spills every detail about his life on day one. You keep a little bit of yourself hidden, not because you're playing some strategic game, but because you're naturally reserved. You reveal yourself slowly, layer by layer, like peeling an onion, but without the tears. This natural reserve creates a space of respect and curiosity. Unlike the typical oversharing culture we live in today, where social media encourages us to lay everything bare for likes and validation. Now, this mystique isn't about being cold or detached. It's about depth. Sigmas tend to be introspective, thoughtful, and independent thinkers. Your calm, cool demeanor signals confidence without arrogance. Women pick up on that subtle energy, an unspoken message that there's more beneath the surface, something worth discovering. It's like a lighthouse in a sea of noise and superficial chatter, guiding those who seek genuine connection. From a biological standpoint, mystery can stimulate dopamine production, the brain chemical linked to pleasure and reward. That means your aura doesn't just attract interest, it literally feels good to be around you. You're giving off signals that trigger curiosity and excitement, keeping her mentally engaged. So Sigmas, embrace your aura. Don't feel pressured to overshare or explain every thought and feeling right away. Your strength lies in your quiet depth, your natural reserve, and your authenticity. In a world drowning in noise, your mysterious vibe is a rare gem that sets you apart. Remember, it's not about playing hard to get. It's about being true to who you are while letting others come to appreciate the layers that make you uniquely Sigma. Sigmas, let's take a moment to reflect on something important. Those 7 weird habits you've noticed. They're far from random quirks. Think of them as the unspoken language of the Sigma male, a unique code signaling independence, authenticity, and a quiet kind of strength that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Psychologists note that Sigma males often value solitude and self-reliance, not because they dislike people, but because they recharge best on their own terms. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Here's the truth. You don't need to change a thing to be more attractive. Those so-called weird behaviors, they're your edge, your unfair advantage. Women, and frankly many people, are drawn to authenticity. Studies in social psychology show that genuine behavior triggers deeper connection and trust. In a world crowded with people performing roles, your realness is magnetic. So keep vanishing when you need to recharge. Lose yourself in your passions and own your silence. These weird traits aren't just oddities. They're the very things that make you unforgettable. Remember, being true to yourself is the ultimate power move. Stay true and stay Sigma. Welcome, Sigmas. The Sigma male is a mysterious character who has decided to live by his own rules instead of those established by society, in a world where people are motivated by a need to fit in. The Sigma male functions completely outside of this framework, in contrast to alpha males who thrive on power and social hierarchy, or beta guys who seek comfort and approval. He is the independent lone wolf who forges his own way, frequently avoiding the commotion and rivalry of the social game. The fact that the Sigma male deviates from the norm is what makes him so intriguing. Psychologists frequently note that social categorization, the natural human desire to group people into groups, occurs. The Sigma male, however, resists simple classification. People who need control and predictability may become uneasy about his inability to participate in societal pecking orders. The Sigma has such a mysterious and intriguing air, in part because of its eerie presence. The Sigma's strength also comes from his serene confidence and versatility. His confidence comes from within. He doesn't look to others for approval. According to studies, people who have a high degree of self-determination are frequently more creative and resilient. This gives the Sigma a sense of purpose that is both captivating and terrifying to everyone around him, enabling him to overcome obstacles in life. We're going to explore 8 distinctive characteristics of the Sigma male today. These characteristics are subtle yet potent, frequently leaving others perplexed and even a little disturbed. The Sigma is a force of nature because of his capacity to ignore drama and his laser-like focus on his objectives. So, fasten your seatbelt. You'll see how important these characteristics are once you comprehend them, not only for Sigma males, but also for anybody who dares to live life according to their own terms. Let's get started. Point 1. The silent aura that screams loudly. Let's kick it off with your silent aura, the calm, composed energy you carry like a shadow. It's like you've mastered the art of being present without having to prove anything to anyone. This silent confidence is a hallmark of Sigma males, the rare breed of men who thrive in solitude and self-sufficiency. They don't need the limelight, and that's what makes them so intriguing. You're not the guy who needs to fill the silence with small talk. Nope, you're the guy who owns the silence. This skill might seem simple, but in a world obsessed with noise, it's a rare gem. According to psychologists, silence can be more powerful than words. It gives your brain time to process information, fostering deeper thinking and better decision-making. Research even suggests that spending time in silence can lower stress levels and improve focus, two things Sigmas naturally excel at. Most people can't handle a pause in conversation. They're addicted to noise, chatter, and endless validation. But you, Sigma, are comfortable in your own skin. Your silence isn't empty. It's loaded with depth and mystery. In fact, studies have shown that when someone remains silent in a conversation, others often attribute more intelligence and authority to them. That's why your quiet presence speaks volumes. It forces people to lean in, to wonder what's brewing behind that steady gaze. The horror, people start projecting their fears onto you. They can't read you, so they assume you're thinking something dangerous, judging them, or plotting your next move like a chess master. In reality, you're probably just thinking about how good your coffee tastes or planning your next adventure, maybe a hike in the wilderness or a night of deep reading. This silence is your power, Sigmas. It makes people question themselves and their own insecurities. It's like holding a mirror to their restless minds. They see in you what they can't find in themselves: a deep calm, a quiet confidence, an ability to navigate the world without noise. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, don't rush to fill the gaps. Let your silence do the talking. It's a weapon, a shield, and a statement all in one, hauntingly powerful in a world that can't stop talking. Point 2, eye contact that feels like an X-ray. Now let's talk about your eye contact. Or better yet, the way your gaze cuts right through the room like a laser beam. When you look at someone, it's like you're seeing straight through the surface, past the masks and the practiced smiles, straight into the raw honesty underneath. It's not just intense, it's revealing. Why does this matter? Because in a world of endless filters and polite facades, genuine eye contact is rare. Studies have shown that prolonged eye contact triggers the brain's limbic system, which is responsible for emotional processing. In other words, when your eyes lock with someone else's, you're activating parts of their brain that deal with vulnerability and truth. It's powerful, and it's why people find it both attractive and unsettling. Most people walk around with invisible barriers shielding their real selves. They're used to fleeting glances, quick distractions, and safe topics of conversation. But you, as a Sigma male, have no interest in that. Your gaze says, I see past the small talk. I see the real you. And trust me, people notice. This isn't about being creepy or intrusive, it's about authenticity. Your eyes show that you're willing to go beyond the shallow exchanges and into something real. That intensity doesn't just capture attention, it commands it. It's a silent challenge that says, if you're ready to be real, let's talk. If not, keep walking. Psychologists have even identified that intense eye contact can create a phenomenon called shared vulnerability, which can either deepen connections or make people squirm. Either way, it leaves an impression. So, Sigmas, keep those eyes sharp and focused. Use them as a window into the truth and as a shield against the superficial. In a world full of noise, your steady gaze cuts through the nonsense and demands authenticity. Let that be your strength and your signature. You're not here to fit in, you're here to live honestly. Point 3, the lone wolf mentality, Sigmas. You've heard it before, the lone wolf. It's not just a cool nickname, it's a way of life that sets you apart from the pack. You're not antisocial, you're selectively social. You thrive on your own company and don't need a crowd to feel alive. And this, it terrifies people. Why? Because in a world dominated by social validation and herd mentality, your independence is an anomaly. Studies in psychology, such as those by Dr. Abraham Maslow, show that belongingness is a fundamental human need. Most people crave approval, seeking to fit in with the group. But you're the guy who walks alone because you trust your instincts more than the noise of the crowd. This independence is what makes you magnetic and at the same time intimidating. You're proof that you don't have to follow trends to be relevant. You don't have to chase clout to feel worthy. You simply exist in your own orbit. Historically, lone wolves have played significant roles in shaping society. Nikola Tesla, a classic Sigma archetype, was known for working in solitude, creating groundbreaking technology without the need for social validation. In literature, the archetype of the lone wolf or outsider, like Holden Caulfield from The Catcher in the Rye or Jay Gatsby from The Great Gatsby, captures this same essence of individuality. Even in nature, the lone wolf operates differently. Unlike the alpha who leads the pack, the lone wolf travels alone, not out of weakness, but to explore new territories and avoid unnecessary conflict. This mirrors the Sigma's mindset, solitary yet strong. Being a Sigma doesn't mean rejecting relationships altogether. It's about choosing quality over quantity. You value deep, meaningful connections rather than superficial bonds. You'd rather have one authentic conversation than 100 hollow ones. This terrifies the status quo because your self-reliance challenges the idea that we must conform to thrive. Your quiet confidence speaks volumes in a world obsessed with loud opinions. You're not here to impress, you're here to live on your own terms. And let me tell you, Sigmas, that's a horror story for those who've never dared to stand alone. Your independence isn't just a quirk, it's your superpower. So keep embracing your inner lone wolf because the world needs fewer followers and more trailblazers. Point 4, the calm in chaos. Picture this, the world's on fire, everyone's panicking, people are losing their minds. And there you are, cool as a cucumber. This is your calm in chaos energy, Sigmas. It's like you've got an inner sanctuary no storm can touch. And that's something people can't wrap their heads around. They see your calmness and it freaks them out. Why isn't he freaking out like the rest of us? Doesn't he care? Is he even human? The truth is you do care, but you care about what matters. You're not here to waste energy on things beyond your control. You're here to adapt, to think, and to survive. This Zen-like composure is a superpower that turns you into a mystery. People see it and they're both in awe and terrified. Because when you're not rattled by the noise, you become the calm center everyone wants but few can handle. Let's dig into the psychology behind this. Researchers have found that emotional resilience, the ability to stay composed in the face of stress, is linked to better problem solving, stronger relationships, and even improved health. According to the American Psychological Association, those who stay calm under pressure are less likely to suffer from chronic stress-related issues like high blood pressure or anxiety disorders. What sets Sigmas apart is their ability to practice mindfulness even in chaos. You're not mindlessly reacting, you're observing, analyzing, and making calculated decisions. This makes you a natural leader when the world is falling apart because people instinctively gravitate towards those who stay composed. But it's not just about leading others, it's about personal freedom. Your calm energy frees you from the emotional roller coaster that consumes most people. You're not easily manipulated by fear or drama. Instead, you're grounded in your own sense of purpose and direction. This is why Sigmas seem almost otherworldly to those around them. When the world is screaming for attention, you're focused on what truly matters. And that focus is magnetic. People want to know your secret. They want to understand how you stay so unflappable. But the real secret is that you've learned to tune out the noise and listen to your own inner compass. So next time the world is losing its head, remember this. Your calm isn't just a quirk, it's your greatest weapon. Keep cultivating it, because in a world on fire, your steady flame of composure lights the way. Point 5, master of boundaries. Sigmas, let's unpack this power of boundaries, because for you, they're not just a suggestion, they're a lifestyle. Boundaries are the invisible lines you draw to protect your peace, energy, and purpose. You say no without guilt, and that's not just admirable, it's essential. Research by psychologist Dr. Henry Cloud shows that healthy boundaries are the key to authentic relationships and personal growth. Without them, you end up drained and resentful. Now here's the fascinating part. Most people don't understand boundaries at all. They think saying no is rude or selfish. They're conditioned to people please and avoid conflict like the plague. But you, Sigma, are wired differently. You've learned that boundaries are not about being unkind, they're about being honest and clear. It's like a moat around your castle, but instead of keeping out everyone, it invites in only those who respect your values. This is what shakes people up. When you draw sharp lines, it makes others realize they can't manipulate you. You're not just drifting through life, waiting to be told what to do, you're charting your own course. That's intimidating to those who thrive on control or seek validation through others. And let's not forget, your boundaries are flexible gates, not concrete walls. They open to those who bring mutual respect and understanding. A 2022 study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that clear personal boundaries lead to healthier connections and stronger trust. So when you hold your ground, you're actually fostering more authentic bonds, not pushing people away. It's also about self-respect. When you guard your energy like a fortress, you're saying to the world, my time and well-being matter. You're not afraid to let people know your limits, and that empowers you to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your goals, your freedom. So keep those gates strong, Sigmas. They're not barriers to love or friendship. They're the filters that ensure you only surround yourself with people who honor your worth. And that, my friend, is the mark of a true Sigma. Point 6, the power of walking away. One of the most powerful and unsettling traits of Sigma males is their ability to walk away from situations, relationships, or even entire social circles without a backward glance. In a society that often glorifies attachment, drama, and endless compromise, this can be a truly radical stance. It's not that Sigma males are cold or unfeeling, rather, they've mastered the art of prioritizing their own inner peace and self-worth over the fleeting validation of others. Psychologically speaking, the ability to walk away is a sign of emotional independence and self-assuredness. Studies in human behavior and attachment theory highlight that people who are secure within themselves are less likely to tolerate situations that drain their energy or compromise their values. Unlike those who cling to toxic relationships out of fear of loneliness or rejection, Sigma males have cultivated a mindset where solitude is not seen as a punishment, but as a sanctuary. This trait doesn't just make Sigma males stand out, it unsettles those around them. In a world where people are conditioned to seek constant external approval, seeing someone who doesn't play that game is both inspiring and intimidating. It forces others to confront their own insecurities and dependence on external validation. Walking away without looking back also sends a clear message. Your peace of mind is non-negotiable. Sigma males know that drama, manipulation, and emotional games are costly distractions. They'd rather face the quiet of an empty room than the noise of a room filled with pretense. Historically, figures like Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers embodied this principle. They taught that peace comes from within, and no external force should be allowed to disturb that inner calm. In modern times, Sigma males carry this torch, showing that true strength often lies in the ability to say no and move on rather than fighting for scraps of validation. Ultimately, this ability to walk away is what makes Sigma males both admired and feared. In a world where people are always seeking to be needed, the Sigma's refusal to chase or settle is a quiet act of rebellion. It's a powerful reminder that in the end, the only approval that truly matters is your own. Point 7, the mysterious past. Every Sigma male has a past, a backstory that's as intriguing as it is untold. You're not out there sharing every detail of your life on social media or wearing your heart on your sleeve. Instead, you move in silence, operating beneath the radar. This sense of mystery isn't an act, it's a calculated choice grounded in the timeless allure of the unknown. Studies in social psychology highlight how people are naturally drawn to those who keep a certain distance. This phenomenon, known as the pratfall effect, suggests that a hint of mystery enhances attractiveness. Your enigmatic past plays into this, making you a living puzzle. But what exactly fuels this curiosity? It's the ancient human tendency to fill in the blanks. Our brains crave answers, and when they can't find them, they're left with a gnawing fascination. By staying silent about your past, you wield a quiet power. You don't just live in the present, you invite others to imagine your journey. Sigmas understand that privacy isn't about deception, it's about control. Sharing your past is like giving away a treasure map. And every detail you keep to yourself is a fortress, safeguarding your energy and focus. So let them wonder, Sigmas. Let them fill in the blanks with whispers and speculation. In your silence, you're not just a man. You're a myth in the making. Point 8, the unapologetic authenticity. Let's dive deeper into your unapologetic authenticity. In today's world, where social media and peer pressure push people to fit molds and follow trends, being truly authentic is a rare and powerful trait. Authenticity means being completely comfortable in your own skin without feeling the need to shapeshift or pretend just to please others. When you choose to be real, you stand out. You don't imitate popular opinions or change yourself to fit in. This fearless self-expression can be unsettling for many because it forces them to confront their own inauthenticity. Your genuine nature becomes a mirror, reflecting back the masks others wear, the false personas they've adopted to blend in or gain approval. This honesty is more than just brave, it's transformative. Psychologists agree that living authentically is linked to higher self-esteem, better mental health, and deeper, more meaningful relationships. When you embrace who you truly are, you create space for others to do the same. So Sigmas, keep shining your true self unapologetically. Your authenticity isn't just a personal strength, it's a beacon that challenges a world drowning in conformity. By being real, you inspire others to break free and thrive on their own terms. Sigmas, the 8 things we just uncovered are not weaknesses. They're your silent weapons. They're the reason you stand out in a world full of noise. They're why you can walk into a room and make people feel something, fear, respect, intrigue, without saying a single word. Remember, you don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to force your presence. Your calm confidence, your fierce independence, and your authentic heart are enough to leave an impact that lasts. So embrace these eerie traits, Sigmas. Let them be your armor and your gift to the world. Because you're not here to be ordinary. You're here to be unforgettable. Sigmas, if you felt a spark of recognition in today's video, make sure to like and subscribe to join this community of modern warriors who walk their own path. Let's keep this energy alive and let's continue to grow together. Stay true and stay Sigma. She stares, you smirk, and she can't explain why she's bothered. That moment, it's pure Sigma energy. So why do women get rattled when a man says nothing, holds his ground, and walks away like he owns the silence? Simple. Because silence, when used with purpose, is power, and Sigma males, they've mastered it. Sigma males are the quiet rebels of the social hierarchy. Unlike alpha males who assert dominance loudly, Sigmas assert it through subtlety. They don't need the spotlight, they the spotlight, and that's what throws people, especially women, off balance. In a world where attention often equals validation, a man who doesn't seek approval stands out. Sigmas challenge the unspoken social code. If you want to be liked, you have to engage. But instead of chasing attention, they create mystery by pulling back. It's human psychology. People want what they can't fully understand. When a woman encounters a Sigma who doesn't conform, doesn't flatter, and doesn't react the way most men do, it triggers curiosity and sometimes frustration. What makes this more intense is how Sigmas control the frame. They don't explain their silence, and that lack of explanation makes others project their own thoughts onto it. Some interpret it as confidence, others as arrogance, and some can't tell the difference, but it affects them. This is why Sigma behavior feels so provocative. It flips the script. A man who owns the room with silence, not swagger, who chooses solitude over social validation, and who operates by his own code, he disrupts the norm. And disruption, that's both attractive and unsettling. So next time she stares and you smirk, remember, it's not just your looks. It's your silence, your presence, and your refusal to play by the usual rules. Number 1, the vanishing act, going ghost like a legend. Sigmas aren't the type to linger at the end of a party, giving long hugs and promises to catch up soon. One moment they're there, mysterious, calm, observing the room with sharp eyes. The next moment they are gone. No drama, no drawn-out goodbyes, just vanished like Batman disappearing into the shadows. To the average woman who's used to the usual signals, texts, goodnight messages, or closure, the Sigma male's disappearing act is maddening. It's like reading a gripping novel only to find the last page missing. Why did he leave? Did something happen? She replays every moment, trying to decode his silence. But here's the twist. is silence the message. Sigmas don't vanish to hurt or confuse others. They vanish with purpose. These men walk a different path. They're not driven by the need to explain themselves to people who haven't earned access to their inner world. They're deeply introspective. And when something feels off, whether it's the vibe of the room, the direction of a conversation, or even their own rising inner noise, they slip away to recharge. Research in psychology suggests that introverts and deep thinkers like Sigma males need solitude to process thoughts and regulate emotions. It's not just preference, it's survival. And no, this isn't ghosting. Ghosting is avoidance rooted in fear or immaturity. Sigma males don't avoid, they master silence. It's an art form, a personal boundary, a declaration that their energy isn't for the taking. Think of it like this. Some people need to say goodbye to feel seen. Sigmas don't. They move in stealth, not for approval, but for alignment. Their disappearance is a recalibration of the soul, a quiet act of rebellion against a noisy, approval-hungry world. To many, this seems cold, but to those who understand the Sigma code, it's power, it's clarity, it's freedom. So the next time he vanishes without a word, don't panic, don't chase. Just know he's not lost. He's exactly where he needs to be, reclaiming his peace. Number 2, making eye contact like he's reading souls. Ever noticed how Sigma males don't casually scan a room like everyone else? They're not glancing around hoping to catch someone's attention. They wait. They observe. And when the moment is right, they lock eyes. Not often, but when they do, it's like being hit by an emotional X-ray. Women feel it instantly. That eye contact is intense, direct, and completely unshaken. It's not creepy, it's calculated. It doesn't say, I want you, it says, I you. Psychologists have long studied the power of eye contact. According to research from the University of Aberdeen, people are more likely to trust someone who maintains strong, steady eye contact. It builds connection, confidence, and even a sense of intimacy. But where most men may use eye contact as a flirty or submissive tool, Sigmas wield it differently. They don't overuse it. They wait until there's a reason. And when they look, it's with purpose. This is the difference. Most people avoid real eye contact because it makes them feel vulnerable. It's confronting. But Sigmas are comfortable in that space. Their gaze isn't for seduction, it's for clarity. It filters out the noise. It's as if their eyes ask the unspoken question, who are you beneath the mask? This makes others, especially those hiding behind social facades, uncomfortable. The Sigma gaze pierces through small talk, pretenses, and distractions. That unblinking attention unnerves people because it reflects a quiet strength. It says, I don't need to impress you, but I will understand you. And women, especially those who are used to superficial attention, notice the difference. They're drawn to that sense of being seen, not just looked at. It's rare, almost primal. Neuroscience even backs this up. Eye contact activates the social and emotional brain centers like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, which heighten emotional awareness and engagement. In short, when a Sigma male looks at you, you brain it. So next time you wonder why the room shifts when a Sigma enters, don't look at what he's doing. Look at his looking. That gaze isn't for dominance, it's for truth. And truth, as we all know, can be both unsettling and irresistible. Number 3, laughing in serious moments. Here's the deal. Sigma males process reality through a completely different lens. While others are emotionally entangled in the moment, Sigmas operate with a calm detachment. When tension rises, most people fidget, panic, or argue. But a Sigma, he might just chuckle, and not because he doesn't care, but because he sees through the chaos. That smirk during an argument or that grin in the middle of a heated moment, it's not arrogance, it's awareness. Sigmas have a rare ability to mentally step outside the situation and observe it without getting emotionally hijacked. This trait is actually linked to high emotional intelligence, particularly in self-regulation and self-awareness, 2 of the core components described by psychologist Daniel Goleman. Most people react based on triggers, ego-driven responses tied to pride, insecurity, or the need to be right. Sigmas see this as noise. They understand that much of what people stress over is performative, rooted in identity and social expectations. That's why drama doesn't hook them. They see the absurdity of ego battles and choose not to play along. This calm disrupts the expected emotional script, especially in relationships. Many women, conditioned by social norms to expect a man to either fight back or get flustered, don't know what to do with a Sigma's serenity. His detachment isn't passive aggressiveness, it's power. It forces others to confront their own emotional reactivity. And this can be unsettling. Women might find themselves questioning their behavior, wondering, why isn't he reacting? What they often don't realize is that the Sigma isn't suppressing emotion. He's transcending it. His peace comes from clarity, not coldness. Research also suggests that people who can remain calm under pressure tend to have better problem-solving skills and stronger leadership qualities. Sigmas embody this. They don't dominate a room by shouting, they command it by being the eye of the storm. So no, he's not mocking you, he's not trying to win. He's already free from the need to prove, to please, or to participate in pointless power struggles. And that freedom, it's rare, it's magnetic, and it disrupts everything people think they know about emotional power. That smirk, it's a mirror reflecting just how much noise we carry, and it's a quiet invitation to rise above it. Number 4, doing things alone on purpose. Sigmas go to the movies alone, dine alone, travel solo, not because they lack friends or social skills, but because they deliberately choose freedom over frenzy. In a world that constantly glorifies group dynamics and social validation, the Sigma male walks the road less traveled. Society often pushes the idea that fulfillment comes through constant connection. Friday night hangouts, couples dinners, weekend getaways with the crew. But Sigmas flip the script entirely. To the casual observer, this behavior might appear antisocial or even lonely, but for the Sigma, solitude isn't isolation, it's restoration. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies have shown that people who spend time alone voluntarily often demonstrate greater creativity, improved concentration, and deeper self-awareness. This isn't about hiding from the world, it's about engaging with it on your own terms. Women often find this behavior puzzling, sometimes even offensive. Why didn't he invite me? They wonder. They assume disinterest, rejection, or arrogance. But the truth is far more intriguing. The Sigma isn't rejecting anyone. He's selecting himself. He values his time, his space, and his mental clarity. That choice can feel both magnetic and maddening to others. There's a quiet strength in a man who can enjoy a table for one or a solo weekend retreat. It communicates confidence without performance. He's not trying to impress or fit in, he simply is. This makes the Sigma male a paradox. Distant yet desirable, mysterious yet grounded. This behavior also reflects emotional maturity. According to psychology, those who are comfortable being alone tend to have higher levels of emotional intelligence. They're not afraid of their thoughts. They know who they are without needing constant reassurance. So next time you see a man walking into a movie theater by himself or catching a flight with no travel buddy, don't assume he's lonely. He might just be a Sigma choosing solitude not as a backup plan, but as a lifestyle of freedom, control, and peace. Number 5, he doesn't chase, he attracts. Here's the weirdest one. The Sigma male doesn't pursue, he pulls. And the wild part, he does it without even trying. No constant texting, no flashy outfits or exaggerated gestures, no manipulative games. He simply, authentically, unapologetically, and that quiet confidence becomes magnetic. Psychologically speaking, this taps into a well-documented principle. Scarcity increases value. The more inaccessible or independent someone appears, the more people are drawn to them. Sigmas don't chase approval or validation, traits that women, especially those used to being the center of attention, find both puzzling and strangely irresistible. Why isn't he into me? They wonder. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. The Sigma is on a mission. His focus is on personal growth, purpose, and freedom, not performing for attention. He doesn't feel the need to constantly prove his worth or impress others. And that very lack of neediness signals high value. Research in social dynamics confirms that people are attracted to those who display autonomy and self-sufficiency. Women often interpret this calm detachment as emotional strength, something they rarely find in a world full of people trying too hard. This doesn't mean the Sigma is emotionless. On the contrary, he feels deeply, but he's selective. His energy is sacred. His time is currency. He's not interested in meaningless flings or desperate attention. He's not playing hard to get. He's hard to get because he respects himself too much to be easily won over. In fact, many Sigmas report being pursued more than they pursue. Why? Because their energy says, I don't need you to complete me. And ironically, that's what draws others in. The Sigma doesn't chase love. He attracts it by being whole on his own. And that, in a world full of attention seekers and approval hunters, is what makes him so rare and so hard to resist. Number 6, asking deep questions too soon. What do you fear most? Asked just 15 minutes into a first date. Classic Sigma male move. To the average person, it might seem abrupt, maybe even intense, but to a Sigma male, it's a strategic and authentic way to bypass the wasteland of small talk. While most people are still warming up with "where did you grow up?" or "what's your favorite movie?", the Sigma is already deep diving into the raw core of who you really are. That's because Sigma males are wired differently. Psychologically speaking, they operate on the introverted side of the dominance hierarchy, outside the typical alpha-beta structure. They observe more than they speak, and when they finally do speak, they go for depth over decorum. So when a woman sits down expecting a polite, "What do you do for fun?" or she's thrown off balance by, "When was the last time you cried?" it's jarring, but it's also refreshing. In a world dominated by surface-level conversation and performance dating, Sigma males offer something rare: authenticity. This isn't about being weird for attention. It's about emotional efficiency. Studies in psychology show that vulnerability fosters connection. People are more likely to form lasting bonds when they engage in meaningful conversations early on. That's where the Sigma thrives. He doesn't date for fun, he connects for purpose. These conversations leave a mark. They stir emotions most people bury beneath filters, emojis, and polite nods. A Sigma can make someone feel more understood in 30 minutes than others do in 3 months. Why? Because he asks questions that matter and he listens, and yes, it's unforgettable. Whether or not the relationship goes anywhere, most women remember the Sigma, not because he was flashy or charming, but because he made them something real. That's the Sigma way. Skip the fluff, get to the soul. Number 7, being unapologetically mysterious. What does he do all day? Women wonder. Why won't he post more? Why won't he explain himself? Here's the truth. He's not hiding. He's just not oversharing. Sigma males are like black holes, not in the destructive sense, but in their silent magnetic presence. Just as a black hole has gravity so strong that it draws everything toward it without saying a word, a Sigma male pulls attention without even trying. He's dense with meaning, filled with substance, but you'll only get close if you're meant to. In a society addicted to exposure, where people document everything from their breakfast to their emotional breakdowns, the Sigma's silence is revolutionary. According to psychology studies on personality archetypes, Sigma males fall outside the traditional dominance hierarchy. They're lone wolves, not because they can't lead, but because they don't need validation from a pack. This refusal to explain himself isn't a game, it's his nature. He's built for depth, not display. Instead of crafting a highlight reel for social media, he might be reading, building a business, training, meditating, or simply reflecting, living with intention, not just reaction. That kind of restraint provokes curiosity and sometimes irritation. Because in the age of oversharing, mystery is uncomfortable. People feel entitled to access, to updates, to explanations. But the Sigma male doesn't owe the world a running commentary on his life. He operates in the shadows, not to be elusive, but to protect what matters. Time, focus, peace. These are his currencies, and he spends them wisely. So when people ask, why won't he post more, they're really asking, why doesn't he need the same attention I do? And the answer is simple. He's not performing, he's living. He's not afraid of being misunderstood, because being understood isn't his mission. The Sigma male isn't unknowable because he's hiding. He's unknowable because he's whole, and not everyone gets access to that. Number 8. He calls out games, then walks away. Sigmas aren't confrontational by nature. However, when manipulation appears, whether it's guilt trips, jealousy tactics, or subtle digs, they immediately recognize it. Unlike many who might get drawn into the drama, Sigmas calmly address the issue and then walk away. There's no yelling or emotional explosions. Instead, they might simply say something like, "I don't play games," and exit with quiet confidence. This reaction can be surprising to women who use emotional games to test interest or control dynamics. Sigmas don't engage with these tactics because they reject unnecessary conflict and chaos. Psychologically, they prefer emotional stability and honesty, valuing transparency over manipulation. They are wired for clarity and straightforwardness, which makes emotional theatrics unbearable to them. In relationships, this means Sigmas foster genuine connections, rather than drama-filled interactions, which ultimately earns them respect and preserves their peace of mind. Sigmas, these 8 weird traits aren't flaws, they're freedom codes. They provoke because they challenge what's normal. They irritate because they reveal truth. In a world that wants conformity, your rebellion is refreshing, so embrace it. Let women be intrigued, confused, or even frustrated. That's not your burden, that's your impact. You're not here to fit in, you're here to stand out. So Sigmas, if these traits resonate, hit that like button, subscribe, and join this rising community of independent minds. Live boldly, love intentionally, and let your weirdness work. Stay true and stay Sigma.